What are you doing?
I want to check out what's down this alley.
Sure, I know what you want to check out, but I don't think this is the best weather for it. On the other hand, I suppose I could loosen up just this. This one's coming.
I'm a fan of science fiction. I used to read science fiction when I was a kid, so I was intrigued by the concept.
I just loved the story, and called Rob Venditti, the writer, wanted to kind of know who he was and what led him to kind of come up with that idea.
Do you mind? The lady would like some privacy. What's your problem, man?
I read a sociology book, an actual study of these people who were involved in this sort of online, one of these early online, community type games, and how these people just became so involved in this game that they would lose their jobs or get divorced or things like that because they just couldn't separate their lives from this persona that they created. My idea was, what if you could create this persona, and that persona could actually go to work and earn that money for you, and now you can be that all the time? What would that do to personal relationships, and how would society work in that atmosphere?
Get your damn hands off! Ah!
I was working in the warehouse for Top Shelf Productions, which is the publisher of the graphic novel, and wrote the script for the Surrogates and showed it to the publisher. They ended up liking it, and so they published it. So I started out in the mailroom.
Nearest building. Emergency stop. Please proceed carefully to the nearest building. Emergency stop.
His script was surprisingly advanced for where he was coming into comics. And it was just my job to take that and bring it to the level that it needed to be.
Isn't it strange how the things we look for often find us when we least expect them? What do you want?
Working with Brett Weldley on the book was really just extraordinary and a great thrill for me. Some of the things like his design for Greer, it was literally like he pulled it out of my head. But other things too, and equally as thrilling, was to see him bring his own unique style with the color palette that he chose and things like his sort of mixed media approach to the artwork and things like that.
You have traded flesh and bone for cosmetics and alloy. You live a filtered life. You asked what I want. Everyone dreams of changing the world. I only want to change it back. Wait!
Style is a part and parcel of what the story is trying to say, and the story is kind of a dark story. So I took a very neutral palette with the world because it's very much a manufactured world. So the surrogate world is very blue and gray. Whereas when you get to the Dread Reservation, it's very earth tone, it's very real.
To actually have somebody draw the things I was describing and to be able to hold the art in my hands, to think that these words that I wrote down could become something like that, it was just really the best part about the whole thing.
These recent attacks are jeopardizing the agreement that protects you and your people, pal.
Prepare yourself, Lieutenant. The day of the Lord is coming like a thief in the night.
The initial response to the book was really beyond anything I had anticipated, because it was the very first thing, literally, that I'd ever had in print.
This was just kind of talked about and buzzed about online in some of the comic book community's message board as this fantastic graphic novel that no one really knew about. As soon as I read it, it struck me as an obvious film.
The graphic novel was a great way on paper to present what the story was, but for a movie, it's a whole different set of circumstances. You really had to go to the core of what the story was and then build the movie out from there.
Well, this will sound very Hollywood convenient, but as Rob Venditti, the creator, can tell you, when he and I first were discussing this project, the immediate name that came to mind was Bruce Willis.
We both thought to ourselves that Bruce Willis would be the perfect lead because he can be the tough cop, but he could also be vulnerable and handle the relationship between Greer and his wife Margaret and the strain there.
Tom, I don't want you going out without your stirring ever again. Tom.
It's just a scratch, Margaret. It's fine.
Just a scratch this time. I want you to get a replacement unit tomorrow.
There is a convoluted love story in there that he's just trying to save his wife.
I've seen the effect surrogates can have on people. I see it every day.
People? Why don't you just say it, Harvey? You mean me.
What do you want from me?
My wife.
To him, the beauty is all false, and the happiness is all false, and everything's false, but she couldn't face the world as her real self anymore. I am your wife.
No, you're not. Maggie, don't walk away from me.
That actually, to me, and I think to Todd and to David Hoberman, to Jonathan Mostow, everyone, that was the kind of central core of the story that really put it kind of at a different level.
Take 5, will you, Art? These two aren't going anywhere.
Sorry, Sergeant.
The experience is just extraordinary. To think that this idea has grown into this movie, it's a huge compliment to think that this little idea could inspire so much action.
Looks like a couple of fry jobs. A flash storm moved through about a half hour ago.
The true science fiction classics have always been set in alternative worlds, and yet in it we recognize something about the human experience that feels very, very truthful. And every scene in this movie resonates with the core idea behind the graphic novel.